Hello everyone, welcome to the series. The assassination mission of Abu Jihad, Sayeret Matkal, Israel's legendary special forces defeat the number one enemy. Today we will explore who Israel's top enemy was and why a bold revenge decision led to one of the most pinnacle military operations in history. Imagine a terrorist who caused a series of deaths, and Israel decides to deal with him 1,500 miles away. Do you think this is a crazy idea or a strategic genius? Watch to the end and comment your opinion below if you like military history, covert operations, or true stories that feel like movies hit like, and subscribe now to follow this thrilling series. Let's start. First, we must understand clearly who this enemy was. His real name was Khalil Wazir, but the world knew him by the alias Abu Jihad, meaning father of the struggle. Abu Jihad was not just an ordinary political leader. He was the number 2 military commander of the Palestine Liberation Organization, PLO, and was considered the mastermind behind nearly every major attack targeting Israel over 2 decades. From border raids to terrorist bombings, his hands were stained with the blood of Israeli civilians, especially Jews. To Israel, he wasn't a fighter. He was the top terrorist, an irreconcilable enemy they had hunted for 20 years. Let's rewind a bit to see why Abu Jihad was so dangerous. Born into a Palestinian family, he grew up in the context of the Israel-Palestine conflict and quickly became a PLO leader under Yasser Arafat. As the commander of the military wing, al-Fatah, he organized and planned countless attacks from border raids to international terrorist acts. Israel tried to eliminate him time and again. In 1973, a car bomb in Damascus, it almost finished him. By 1982, an airstrike in Beirut, he still escaped death unbelievably. Each failure made him a symbol of defiance, an indestructible shadow that made Israel even more determined. But in 1988, everything changed. A series of events pushed tensions to their peak, turning his assassination into the absolute priority of the Israeli government. Are you curious? Keep watching to find out the details. The final straw was the Dimona bus massacre, also known as the Mother's Bus attack, an event that made all of Israel boil with rage. Imagine the scene. 3 Palestinian terrorists sneaked across the border from Egypt, carrying AK-47s from the PLO's secret arsenal. They crossed the Negev desert, evading Israel's border patrols without being detected. Initially, Israeli intelligence only knew about a carjacking, but they didn't expect the real target was the Dimona nuclear reactor, Israel's most critical military facility, rumored to produce nuclear weapons, though Israel never admitted it. An emergency alert was triggered, roads blocked, military mobilized. But the terrorists changed plans. They hijacked a bus carrying workers from Dimona home. Some passengers escaped, but 11 were trapped, mostly women. Israeli security forces surrounded the bus trying to negotiate, but the terrorists didn't care. They turned their guns on the hostages. Finally, the Israeli military stormed in, eliminating the 3 terrorists in seconds. But it was too late. 3 workers were killed, including 2 young women mothers of small children. The incident was called the Mother's Bus attack due to its brutality, attacking innocent women mothers on their way home. Even in a nation accustomed to terrorism, this was a heavy shock. It touched a deep pain, not just civilians, but women and children. The Israeli public demanded revenge, and intelligence quickly confirmed Abu Jihad was behind it, the one who gave the orders and supplied the weapons for the attack. At the same time, the political context made the situation even more heated. In 1988, the Intifada, the Palestinian uprising erupted across the occupied territories. This wasn't a conventional war. Thousands of Palestinians, mostly youths, took to the streets throwing stones at Israeli soldiers, creating an organized uprising. The Intifada caused significant damage to Israel's international reputation. Images of the military suppressing civilians spread worldwide, isolating Israel diplomatically. Who was behind it? Israel was certain it was Abu Jihad. He boldly declared responsibility. "I ordered the fighters to take to the streets." Though the truth later emerged at the time, the Intifada was like a fuse forcing Israel to act. For Defense Minister Yitzhak Rabin, a tough former soldier who believed peace only came when Israel was strong, this situation was unacceptable. Rabin declared, "Abu Jihad must die to avenge Dimona and stop the Intifada." And the decision was made, a close-range assassination inside his own house in Tunis to ensure 100% success. The challenge was enormous. Tunis is the capital of Tunisia, an Arab nation 1,500 miles from Israel, where the PLO had a safe headquarters. Not a long-range assassination with rockets or bombs, those had failed before, but a direct infiltration. Rabin entrusted the mission to Sayeret Matkal, Israel's most elite special forces unit, legendary for the 1976 Entebbe operation. Under the command of Ehud Barak, a soldier awarded the highest medal, they would turn the impossible into reality. Mossad gathered intelligence house blueprints, guard positions, habits, everything. The show of force plan was ready. What do you think of this decision, genius, or a risk leading to war? Comment below and like. If you're excited for this mission, Part 2 will reveal the crazy logistics, crossing the sea, disguising as women, and a chocolate box hiding a gun. Subscribe to watch next. Part 2. The secret journey and unique disguise tactics. If Part 1 made your blood boil with the Dimona bus massacre and Yitzhak Rabin's revenge decision, then this Part 2 will take you into a truly crazy journey. How to get commandos across 1,500 miles of sea, disguise them to fool all of Tunisia, and approach Abu Jihad's villa undetected. Imagine a chocolate box hiding a gun, commandos posing as women strolling at night. It sounds like a James Bond movie, but this is 100% true. Do you think this plan could succeed? Vote in the poll now, genius or risky. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell to follow the assassination climax in Part 3. Let's start. Now let's dive into the logistics preparation, the part that made the show of force operation a military masterpiece. Assassinating Abu Jihad in Tunis wasn't just about firing a shot. It was a colossal logistical puzzle. How to bring an elite special forces team full of weapons across 1,500 miles of the Mediterranean Sea, infiltrate a tightly secured Arab nation, and withdraw without leaving a trace. Ehud Barak, the operations commander and a Sayeret Matkal legend, turned the impossible into possible by mobilizing Israel's full military strength. This wasn't a small Mossad operation. It was an unprecedented coordination between the Navy, Air Force, and intelligence. First, the Navy's strength was the key to opening the door. Barak ordered the use of missile boats, fast, stealthy ships equipped with radar-evading technology, to transport Sayeret Matkal commandos from Israel's coast to international waters off Tunisia. Picture this: dozens of commandos carrying silenced guns, grenades, and special equipment crammed onto ships in the dark, crossing a sea full of risk of detection by Arab patrol boats or enemy satellites. But Barak didn't stop there. He also prepared a support fleet, cargo ships carrying helicopters for emergency evacuation, and escort ships for cover. The entire fleet moved secretly, avoiding busy maritime routes, and only operated at night to minimize risk. According to historical documents revealed later, this was one of Israel's largest naval mobilizations since the Six-Day War, proving that when needed, Israel could project force anywhere in the world. But the most impressive was the airborne command post, a genius idea by Barak. He didn't sit at a base in Israel waiting for news. Instead, Barak flew on a modified Boeing 707 electronic warfare plane, turning it into a flying command center hovering over the Mediterranean airspace. This plane was equipped with radar eavesdropping systems and real-time satellite connections, allowing Barak to monitor every movement of the commandos from hundreds of miles away. If something went wrong, like Abu Jihad fleeing or Tunisia detecting, Barak could cancel the operation immediately. Meanwhile, the Israeli Air Force put a series of fighter jets and rescue aircraft on standby, ready to fly into Tunisia if evacuation was needed. Can you imagine a commander leading a covert operation from the sky? This is proof of Israel's creativity and superior technology, turning a far-off mission into something feasible. Approaching Tunisia's coast was the most dangerous part. When the missile boats reached the rendezvous point, the commandos switched to small speedboats, then to rubber dinghies of Flotilla 13, Israel's Navy SEALs unit specializing in covert insertion. To avoid engine noise that could be heard by Tunisia's Coast Guard, they rowed the final meters to shore by hand. An exhausting, tense journey in the dark, with waves crashing and the constant fear of detection. Mossad was waiting on the beach with pre-rented cars parked discreetly, looking like tourist vehicles. Mossad agents disguised as businessmen or tourists drove the commandos to a location near Abu Jihad's villa. The final stretch. They had to walk carrying hidden weapons through Tunisian neighborhoods, an Arab nation with tight security and police patrolling everywhere. And this is when the unique disguise tactic was activated, an idea inspired by the 1973 Beirut operation where Barak had participated. To avoid suspicion while moving through the streets at night, the commandos didn't wear military camouflage, but disguised themselves as wealthy Western tourists. But the pinnacle was that some commandos posed as women wearing skirts, high heels, wigs, and light makeup. In the context of 1988, Tunisia, a conservative society where a group of strange men would immediately attract attention. A romantic couple or group of Western women strolling late would be less noticed by police. Nahum Lev, the deputy commander and leader of the assault team, even played the lover in a fake couple walking beside another commando. They carried purses and gift boxes, but inside were silenced pistols and grenades. This idea was not only clever, but also daring. If discovered, the entire operation would collapse, leading to imprisonment or war. To ensure the area near the villa had no security, Mossad created a distraction event on the other side of Tunis, a fake incident like a theft alarm or accident, big enough to draw patrols and local police away from the coastal area. Meanwhile, in a chilling final moment, a call from the PLO warned Abu Jihad of an assassination risk, making Barak fear he might have fled. Barak ordered a fake call from Italy. An agent posing as a Palestinian called the villa, talking to confirm the voice. 3 Arabic language experts eavesdropped, raising their hands to confirm it's him. The decision to proceed was made. Finally, the moment of infiltration, Lev approached the villa's guard, pretending to ask for directions politely. The guard lowered his vigilance, and Lev pulled a gun from the chocolate box, assembling it in a flash, taking him down silently. The gate opened. 8 commandos stormed in. What do you think of the fake women and chocolate box tactic genius, or too risky? Comment below. The moment the commandos storm the villa, face Abu Jihad on the staircase and a shocking barrage of 70 bullets. A surprising mistake and consequences that make Israel rethink, was this victory truly worth it? Do you think a commando can stay calm facing the #1 enemy? Vote in the poll now. Yes, they're legends, or no, too intense. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell to follow part 4, where we dissect the lessons and ethical controversies. Let's start the climax. Now imagine the scene late at night in Tunis, Tunisia, 1988. The Sayeret Matkal commandos under Nahum Lev's command have approached Abu Jihad's villa after neutralizing the gate guard with a shot from a chocolate box. The gate opens, and this is when deadly speed is activated. 8 commandos storm in like shadows, fully armed with silenced guns, grenades, and knives. Their goal: complete the mission and withdraw in a few short minutes before Tunisian police or the PLO can react. This isn't a noisy raid. It's the art of silence. Any loud noise could turn the operation into a diplomatic disaster, even war. First, neutralizing the remaining guard was the top priority. The commandos split into 2 small groups. One group secured the ground floor, checking every corner to eliminate any threats. They discovered a guard patrolling inside the house, perhaps smoking or checking windows. With Sayeret Matkal's rigorous training, they approached from behind using a knife or silenced gun to take him down quickly without a sound. According to historical reports revealed later by former Mossad members, this entire process took only seconds, proof of why Sayeret is considered the world's most elite special forces unit. They weren't just strong in physical power, but in discipline. Every action was rehearsed hundreds of times on a mock villa in Israel based on Mossad's detailed blueprints. There was no room for error. A loud noise could wake neighbors or trigger a PLO alarm. While the ground team ensured safety, Nahum Lev, the deputy commander and leader of the assault team, advanced up the staircase with another commando. Based on Mossad's intelligence, they knew the house's layout clearly. Abu Jihad's bedroom was upstairs, possibly with additional guards or family members. The narrow, dark staircase with wooden steps that could creak was a challenge. Each step, a test. Lev, with experience from numerous previous operations, moved like a shadow gun at the ready. Can you imagine heart-pounding cold sweat, but not a hint of hesitation? This was the result of months of grueling training where commandos learned to control adrenaline in life-or-death situations. And then the climactic moment unfolded on the staircase, a scene like something out of an action movie, but 100% real. As Lev reached the top, he found Abu Jihad awake. Perhaps he heard a faint noise from below, or the instincts of a seasoned warrior alerted him. Abu Jihad stepped out of the bedroom still in pajamas, but his hand quickly reached for a pistol hidden near the bed. In an instant, Lev identified the target. The face familiar from hundreds of intelligence photos, the distinctive mustache and wary eyes. Without hesitation, Lev and his teammate opened fire. A terrifying barrage of about 70 bullets poured into Abu Jihad. Bullets struck his chest back and nearly severed his gun-holding hand. According to accounts from former commandos, later this was to ensure 100% certainty. No chance for him to fight back or survive. Abu Jihad collapsed, blood spreading across the floor, ending Israel's 20-year hunt. But in the chaos, an unexpected mistake occurred. the only flaw in the entire operation. Abu Jihad's wife suddenly appeared from the bedroom screaming in horror, "Stop! Stop!" The commandos, despite being at the peak of adrenaline, strictly followed engagement rules. No shooting at women or children unless they are a direct threat. They ordered her to face the wall and stand still, not harming her. However, while sweeping the villa, a gardener sleeping in the basement was mistaken for a guard and killed. This was an unintended error, according to Israel's internal reports, a reminder that even the most perfect plan can lead to unintended casualties, sparking ethical controversies later. With the target eliminated, a perfect withdrawal was the final step. The commandos quickly gathered equipment, leaving no trace that could lead to Israel, and left the villa silently. They ran to the waiting rental cars, driving back to the beach at high speed, but without drawing attention. At the coast, Flotilla 13 was ready with rubber dinghies, taking them offshore by rowing to avoid noise. Then they transferred to the Navy's missile boats safely on the journey back to Israel. The entire attack lasted only a few minutes, a testament to Sayeret Matkal's iron discipline. From the command center on the Boeing plane, Ehud Barak received the final confirmation: mission accomplished. Abu Jihad is dead. The consequences of the operation: tactically, it was a resounding victory. Abu Jihad, the longtime enemy and supposed mastermind of the Intifada, was eliminated. Israeli public opinion rejoiced, seeing it as deserved revenge for Dimona and a strong blow to the PLO. But the big surprise: the Intifada didn't stop. On the contrary, it erupted more violently, with the bloodiest day of the uprising occurring right after his death. The PLO didn't collapse. They only found new leaders, and violence continued. The harsh truth: Abu Jihad wasn't the real organizer of the Intifada. He only claimed responsibility to boost his prestige. Did Israel eliminate the wrong main target and the operation's legacy? Barak gained fame, later becoming prime minister, and Sayeret Matkal added to its legend. But it was also a lesson: assassinating leaders is only symbolic, not resolving the root conflict. What do you think about the 70-bullet barrage? Necessary or excessive? Comment now. Part 4 will dissect the tactical lessons, ethical controversies, and lasting legacy. Like and subscribe to see the series conclusion. This is the final part, where we will dissect the lessons from the show of force operation, the fierce ethical controversies, and the lasting legacy this assassination left behind. If Part 3 left you breathless with the 70-bullet staircase showdown and perfect withdrawal, this part will make you reflect. Was a tactical victory truly a victory when the political consequences were completely opposite? Do you think assassinating terrorist leaders is worth it? Vote in the poll now. Yes, it saves civilian lives, or no, it only worsens the conflict. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell to get notifications for new military history series. Let's start the conclusion. Now let's dissect the tactics. Why did Sayeret Matkal succeed so brilliantly in a seemingly impossible operation? The show of force operation wasn't just an assassination. It became a classic textbook in special forces academies worldwide, from America's Delta Force to Britain's SAS. Its success relied on three key factors: perfect intelligence, complex logistics, and daring creativity, a combination that left the enemy with no chance to react. Let's analyze each step to see clearly. First, intelligence was the golden key, and Mossad proved they were masters in this field. Without Mossad's detailed information, the entire operation would collapse like a house of straw. Mossad agents disguised as tourists or businessmen in Tunis collected everything Abu Jihad's house blueprint with the bedroom location, wall heights, door lock, types, number of guards, even his sleeping habits. They eavesdropped on phones, tracked routes, and confirmed his voice through a fake call from Italy at the last moment, a smart move to avoid a fatal mistake. According to declassified historical documents, it was this information asymmetry. Israel knew everything. Tunisia and the PLO were clueless. That decided the victory. The first lesson. In covert operations, intelligence isn't secondary. It's the deciding factor for survival. If you were a commander, how much would you prioritize intelligence? Comment your opinion. Next, multi-layered logistics. The unprecedented coordination between the Navy, Air Force, and Mossad made the 1,500-mile distance negligible. Imagine, the Navy used missile boats to carry commandos across the Mediterranean with flotilla, 13 Israel SEALs bringing them ashore with silent rowing boats to avoid noise. The Air Force had evacuation planes ready, and Ehud Barak commanded from a Boeing plane, a flying hub monitoring in real time. Mossad rented cars created a distraction event on the other side of Tunis to divert police, ensuring the villa area was empty. This wasn't a small operation. It was a large-scale military campaign with thousands indirectly involved. The second lesson, complex logistics require perfect coordination between forces. A small mistake could lead to disaster, like being captured by Tunisia and causing war. Finally, Sayeret Matkal's tactical creativity, with the fake women plan and chocolate box hiding a gun, was the pinnacle of daring. Inspired by Beirut 1973, they didn't charge in shooting. They acted as a romantic couple to approach exploiting Tunisia's conservative mindset to avoid suspicion. Lev took down the guard with a gun from a chocolate box, a movie-like trick, but one that saved the team. They neutralized the basement guard, though mistakenly stormed the staircase and fired 70 bullets into Abu Jihad, excessive to ensure certainty. The third lesson, creativity and improvisation are the most powerful weapons, but iron discipline is needed to avoid unintended casualties like the gardener's killing. But this tactical victory led to fierce ethical and political controversies, making the assassination a double-edged sword. Ethically, Israel sending commandos into Tunisia, a neutral sovereign nation, was considered a serious violation of international law. This was an extrajudicial killing, creating a dangerous precedent. If Israel could do it, other countries could too, leading to global chaos. Israel's supporting view. This was a necessary defense action, saving civilian lives from terrorism. But opposition from the international community and the PLO. It was state terrorism, violating sovereignty and human rights, especially with unintended casualties like Abu Jihad's wife nearly harmed. The costly lesson: assassination may win a battle, but lose the ethical war, weakening Israel's international position. Politically, the assassination caused a diplomatic crisis with Tunisia, and the PLO didn't collapse as hoped. On the contrary, the Intifada erupted more violently. The bloodiest day happened right after Abu Jihad's death. The harsh truth: he wasn't the Intifada's mastermind. He only claimed responsibility to boost prestige. Israel shot the wrong strategic target, escalating violence instead of ending it. The lesson: focusing on assassinating individuals while ignoring socio-political causes only fuels hatred, not resolving the root conflict. The assassination's legacy endures to this day. Ehud Barak became an icon from operation commander. He rose to chief of staff and then Israel's prime minister, 1999. and remains a prominent political figure. Sayeret Matkal added to its legend, seen as the most reliable unit in the eyes of the Israeli public, a priceless strategic asset. But the greatest legacy is the lesson about the limits of military power. In the Palestine-Israel conflict, assassinating leaders is only a temporary solution, not a substitute for political dialogue. To this day, the story is still taught in military schools, reminding us that victory on the battlefield is not always the final victory. What do you think about the ethical controversy? Is assassination a solution for terrorism? Comment now. Thank you for following the series. If you liked it, like, share, and subscribe for more military history content. See you again.